Hello, I'm Paul. Today it's going to be a bit of a different video, not one of my series of comparing magazine reviews from different Snes mags, although it still is a little bit of Super Nintendo magazine talk, mainly just through a bit of conversation I had on Twitter today, involving quite a few of our listeners and obviously fellow Super Nintendo fans. So just got in from afternoon out. I just thought, no time like the present. I love to talk about Super Nintendo. Get down to it. So, first of all, before I do talk about the main topic, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's downloaded our show about Konami. It's done extremely well. One of the classic Konami games in the background there, Sunset Riders. Honestly, absolutely blown away. Obviously, back in the 16-bit days, Konami were absolutely amazing with hit after hit. So obviously it just made sense to do a show on that. And as I said, we've got our month of Super Nintendo coming up for April. I will be getting back to editing the show, which will be out probably towards the end of the first week of April. We've got a lot of great stuff coming up there. But anyway, on about with what we're going to be talking about. And basically, this came from doing the new series of comparing Super Play reviews to Nintendo Magazine System to see what the differences are, and also give my own thoughts on some of the games, where possible. Some of them I've not played for absolutely ages, but I just want to, throw my hat in the ring. But we're talking about today on Twitter other Super Nintendo magazines. Now, I've touched upon these on the show, and basically you've got things like Super Pro, you've got Snes Force, you've got what else? Well, those are just a couple. Obviously Total as well, which is one of the better ones. But one I mentioned was Super Control. Now, Super Control wasn't really one that was on the shelves for that long. It isn't one that I really bought as a kid. My mate across the road, he used to buy it, at times, because we all sort of had one or two titles we'd buy religiously and then obviously swap over, throughout the month. Now, Super Control, I said, didn't last long, 10 issues, that's all. And it was like a follow-on to a previous magazine called Control, and a few people said, never heard of it, don't know what that is. Now, granted, it didn't really last that long. So what I have got in my collection, a bit knackered, be honest, some pages missing. I've got the last issue of Control magazine. Now, this is issue 9, so altogether with Control and Super Control, it only lasted 19 issues, so just over a year and a half. Now, this is from dated May 1993. You've got Super Bomberman on the cover. Not great artwork, try and do something a little bit different. Just zoom in there, you'll know what I mean. You've also got a free Chun-Li poster inside. This copy hasn't. Someone's taken a Chun-Li poster, obviously live action type Chun-Li. But anyway, this is what I want to talk about. So we've obviously got two big publishing companies. We've got EMAP, done by that did Mean Machines, Nintendo Magazine System, things like that. You've also got Future Publishing, obviously the big boys with Super Play and a load of other magazines. However, with Control, this was brought to us by Maverick Magazines. Now, they were based up here in the Northwest, so quite close to me. I'm not 100%. They may have been formed from Europress, because looking at just around here, you've got this Hugh Gollner, who was the owner of Maverick. So publishing managing director. Now, when I used to buy ST Action back in the very late 80s, early 90s, ST Action was done by Europress. So I don't know if it was just born in the ashes of, that publishing house. But anyway, so you've got an opening page here just saying it's the last issue of Control. And just to quickly read it, welcome one and all, and welcome to the last issue of Control. What? Yes, this is it. basically, we want to rebrand the magazine as Super Control. Now, what it says here is that this was the very first completely unofficial Super Nintendo magazine. So this is going off that date, just before Super Play hit the shelves. So it's always been Super Nintendo focused. There's something like Total was covering the NES and the Game Boy before the Super Nintendo came onto the scene. Control, obviously, just picking up, you know, the Super Nintendo market straight into it, staying away from the NES and Game Boy. Unlike another magazine that originally was Nintendo multi-format called N-Force, and then going on to become Snes Force. Again, very, very short-lived. I think like 9 or 10 issues. The only thing I remember from that Snes Force was an amazing cover for Secret of Mana. But anyway, I don't have any of those in my collection. So what they want to say is Super Controller is going to be the SNES magazine. Really wasn't. Talk about, you know, big competitions, things like that. So just going to show just a couple of pages really. So this is it really with Control. Doesn't really say what it's for either really. I think that's just it. You know, it's like Control. Shows a bit of a D-pad here in the you know, for graphics. So yeah, I suppose it could be seen as you know, a games magazine saying for Super Nintendo junkies, and it's saying that the Super Nintendo market had changed quite a lot. Now, I don't really see it like that. Obviously, there were better games coming out, but like when this launched in 1992, obviously the Super Nintendo was evolving, some far better games coming out, but did it really need a name change, you know, and a bit of a relaunch? You know, to me that just says that Control was a bloody awful title of a magazine. So anyway, what I'm going to just do is have a quick look at just a couple of things in the magazine. So like everything, you've got news and reviews. So what we just mentioned again on Twitter recently was a game called Dead Dance or Tough Enough. A little bit of news there. And also the main review in this magazine is, again, I'm not really going to do comparison, you know, compared to like what I do in my other videos, but there's a score that I've given for Starwing or Star Fox, 94%. Just zoom in there. Now, these guys do review imports as well. So obviously they've got this sort of big bold claim for Super Nintendo magazine, so obviously you want to cover imports as well. That is one good thing that, you know, it did have going for it. Game here I've never ever seen, called Street Combat. It looks bloody awful. It's another one-on-one beat 'em up. These two guys down in the bottom corner with their different coloured shades and blonde hair. Never ever played this game. And then there's another, well, it's just a preview for Super Bomberman. Couple of pages there. Great game, obviously. Everyone loves Bomberman. And also another one of my favourite Super Nintendo games, The Lost Vikings. So again, just a preview. But again, if it's what we mean, that the Super Nintendo industry is changing, then it just means that some bigger titles coming out, you know. But that happens with every single, you know, games magazine. I find it puzzling. You know, it's not a case of PlayStation magazine or whatever. You know, obviously that machine got better and better. You know, when you have a look at something like the original PlayStation, and yeah, magazines go through redesigns, but not like big name changes. I know, fair enough, we just whacked Super on the front of that. I suppose it's following the trend of, you know, Super Pro, Super Play. So, you know, try and lump it in with them. Bit of a review here for a game called Musha. 43%. Not highly rated at all. A game we've never actually played. Again, import review there. I'm just going to whiz through this really. Another one that's slagged off, but it costs so much money. It's a game, Cool World. So 41% there. In my last video, I talked about a few film tie-ins, Wayne's World, TV tie-ins like Family Dog as well, and Cool World. Stupidly rare, but my God, just bad reviews. And here's another film tie-in, well, film crossover type thing. Alien vs Predator. Nope, totally different to the Capcom scrolling beat 'em up, which Phil absolutely loves. This is the god-awful Super Nintendo version. giving it 46% there. And again, that's quite generous because I'm sure Superplay gave it about 19%, you know, really, really ripping into it. And again, it's another game that I just mentioned in my last video. Brawl Brothers, also known as Rush and Beat Run. This is reviewed, because obviously the same time roughly, so it's the Japanese review of Rush and Beat Run, aka Brawl Brothers. And what we've given this is, I just feel like I should mention it. I mentioned the other two reviews. We gave it 64%. So, not amazing, really. I can't remember off the top of my head what the other reviews were rated, you know, for this game. But, you know, it's just very middle of the road. So, basically, what else have we got next? We have got a big world in action feature. Basically, epilepsy and games being bad for you was a big deal back you know, around this time, so what, 1993. So 2-page feature here. Don't panic, there's a world in action logo, and you know, our game's bad for you. It's just like anything, you know, anything that's popular and becoming more popular, you know, press all over it, slagging it, and you know, trying to keep us away from the evils of games, just like rock and roll music, I suppose, back in the 50s. God, I sound like an old man. Moving on a little bit, we've just got like some players' guides, things like Another World, and a couple of other things, you know, like big maps. Obviously didn't have the old walkthroughs back then. And then we've got a few cheats, so nothing special really. Just moving on, last few pages, we have also got a couple more UK release reviews. So again, a bit more streamlined there. Blues Brothers and Wing Commander. Blues Brothers are getting 89%, you know, really highly rated compared to other reviews I've seen. And you've also got a game, Magic Sword, done by Capcom. They've really rated that, sorry, slated that though, 58%. And it's not that bad a game, you know, but we just really ripped into it. So just going to the last couple of pages now. We have got competition for game with Virgin Games. Got a small advert there for Console Concepts, one of the best mail order companies to buy from. I know a friend of the show, Matt Lamborn, he used to go there quite a lot. Then you've also got the usual A to Z of games, you know, going through what we gave everything. Fair few pages there. And then for some reason, some weird comic strip. Not even going to bother looking at that. We've also got some classified adverts right at the end. And just following on from sort of world in action feature, they've got this feature here where they speak to quite a few people, customers, in a local shop. Now, I don't know if anyone remembers the weekly magazine Games X. They did a similar feature where they would go down to different shops and, you know, speak to you know, customers there, the store manager and things like that, and just basically get their thoughts on what we're playing. On in this case, you know, the thoughts on the whole world in action article. And also, again, it was roughly, I'm pretty sure it's the same publisher again, Europress for Games X magazine. So, you know, yet again, you know, did Maverick follow on from Europress? Again, I can't remember off the top of my head. And then we just got some letters, which is bloody solid to read, with that black on purple. And then finally, here we go. First issue of Super Control, coming soon. Hit your eyes. So much it says it 3 times. And just giving you a little bit of information, saying it's going to stay £1.95, coming out at the end of April. So God, we're going back almost 25 years. So it's a standby control, will never be the same again. We've supercharged the best Super Nintendo mag around. It's not though, is it? We all know which is Super Play. To make it 1,000 times better, a new magazine needs a new name and a new look. So we've taken the best bits of Control and flung them together with a potent fusion of new ideas to make a sizzling new magazine, a high voltage input that will reveal your peak playing power. Basically, we're just saying new look, hard-hitting reviews, pull-out guide, 100% Super Nintendo, and free gifts. So again, don't really see anything that's different in the magazine. It's just really not a great magazine, hence only surviving like 10 issues. So by start of 94 really, it had gone. You know, like a lot of magazines went off the shelves around that time. Same with the Sega Mega Drive, you know. So I think by then people knew what the best magazines were and which ones just fell by the side. Anyway, that's all for me. Thanks for watching that. Keep an eye on what we've got coming up. Obviously, I'll keep doing a few videos and things like that. Listen to the show, give an iTunes review if possible, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Bye.